The millionaire's cruel laughter echoed as he humiliated the cleaning lady, sneering that she only knew how to clean, until she silenced them all with a quiet strength that reshaped the room. I can still feel the exact moment it happened, the conference room plunging into a stunned silence, Andrew Pierce's smug face twisting into shock as he realized he'd made the gravest mistake of his career. But let me start at the beginning. I'm Elena Vasquez. For 7 years, I've scrubbed the 32nd floor of the Westmore building in downtown Chicago with corporate cleaning solutions, tending to the plush offices and glass-walled conference rooms of Pierce Capital Management after the executives vanished for the day. It was a steady job, a lifeline for a single mother like me, funding my daughter Sophia's college dreams. The work wasn't glamorous, but it was honest, a quiet dignity in the hum of my vacuum against expensive carpets. Most nights, the floors were a sanctuary of solitude, until that fateful Tuesday in March, when everything shifted. I'd just begun my shift at 6 p.m., pushing my cart down the hall, when voices spilled from conference room A, unusual for that hour, but not impossible. Executives sometimes lingered for big deals. Peering through the glass, I saw at least 10 figures in tailored suits around the oak table, Andrew Pierce at the helm, his scowl a familiar storm cloud. At 47, he'd forged Pierce Capital into a $2 billion titan, his success rivaled only by his ruthless edge. I'd have skipped the room, but a young executive waved me in urgently. Reluctantly, I entered, the tension hitting me like a wave. "Thank God," he muttered. "Someone spilled coffee all over the presentation. Clients here in 20 minutes. My eyes fell on the brown stain seeping into critical documents, and without a word, I grabbed my supplies, moving swiftly to salvage what I could. Pierce's voice cut through, tight with frustration. "This is the last thing we need. The Jameson account's worth $50 million, and now we look like fools." A woman in a charcoal suit offered to print digital copies, but Pierce snapped, "No time, those charts had handwritten notes not in the files." As I blotted the table, the papers revealed financial projections for Medicare Technologies, a healthcare startup I knew well. Sophia, a biomedical engineering major, had poured her heart into a research paper on their diabetic care breakthroughs. Pierce ranted about the Jameson team's interest in healthcare investments, his silver hair tousled from stress. "Without those medical projections, we've got nothing to justify the risk." Hesitant but driven, I spoke up softly, "Excuse me, I might be able to help." The room turned as if I'd materialized from the shadows. Pierce's irritation flared. "Thank you for cleaning, we'll handle it." "No," I pressed, my voice trembling but firm, "I mean with Medicare. I know their technology." The silence was suffocating. Pierce laughed, a harsh bark. "Our cleaning lady knows proprietary medical tech." Ridiculous. His team shifted uncomfortably as he ordered someone to call Medicare for a pitch deck. Humiliation burned my cheeks, but a surge of pride, fueled by extra shifts for Sophia's lab fees and years of being unseen, pushed me forward. Medicare's glucose monitor uses microneedle array technology, non-invasive, with a 97% accuracy rate, I said, my voice gaining strength. "They just got FDA fast-track designation." The room stilled. Pierce's amusement faded into a hard stare. "How do you know this?" "My daughter's at Northwestern. I helped her research it, even proofread her paper after she interviewed their chief scientist, Dr. Lin." A whisper passed among the team. Pierce checked his tablet, his frown deepening. "She's right about the tech and FDA," he conceded, then challenged, "but Glucosense uses a different enzyme coating needing refrigeration." I countered, "Medicare's patent is for a stable enzyme matrix, room temperature viable, projecting 40% lower costs and better reach in developing markets." Shocked faces surrounded me. Years of helping Sophia had ignited a passion I hadn't fully realized. Pierce leaned back, studying me. "What else do you know?" For 5 minutes, I poured out details: leadership, funding, market potential, regulatory hurdles, my voice the only sound amid their rapid typing. When I finished, Pierce asked, "Your name?" "Elena Vasquez." "Well, Ms. Vasquez, you've been holding out. Join our meeting with Jameson." Stunned, I glanced at my gray uniform, feeling out of place. "I need to clear it with my supervisor. I have a floor to clean." Pierce waved it off, dialing my company himself. 30 minutes later, I sat in conference room A, surrounded by suits worth more than my salary, awaiting the Jameson team. At 6:45 p.m., they arrived, 3 men, 2 women in conservative attire, barely acknowledging me. Pierce introduced me as a specialist, omitting my role. As his team pitched, I stayed silent until Margaret Jameson, the stern granddaughter of the family office's founder, probed Medicare's enzyme matrix stability. The team faltered, and Pierce nodded at me. Heart pounding, I explained Medicare's polymer coating solution, citing Sophia's recent update on the P47 variant. The room shifted, questions flowed to me, and I found myself engaged, my discomfort fading. By the meeting's end, the Jameson team was impressed, and Pierce escorted them out, promising follow-ups. Alone afterward, he approached. "Where'd you learn to present like that?" "I didn't, I just know what I know." "And how does a cleaning lady know this?" he pressed, disbelief lingering. Tired of being a spectacle, I stood tall. "I have an associate's in business, earned nights after shifts. I was a science teacher in Mexico City before immigrating. I pay attention." The room quieted. Pierce's gaze softened. "A science teacher. That would have helped." "You didn't ask," I replied. He handed me his card. "Call tomorrow. Let's discuss consulting on this deal." I pocketed it, returning to my cart, their stares following me as I cleaned that night. At home, Sophia's tired eyes lit up as I shared the story. "Mom, call him, this is huge." Weighing stability against risk, I decided, yes, I will. That card wasn't just a job, it was a door to a new path. 18 months later, I stood at conference room A's head, presenting in a navy suit, not a uniform. My consulting role with Jameson evolved into a permanent technical investment specialist position after a 43% return. Despite resistance and imposter syndrome, allies like Jessica Chen and my results, 3 outperforming investments, carried me. I earned a bachelor's degree, paid Sophia's loans, and moved us to a better apartment. As I concluded a gene therapy pitch, the team engaged fully. Pierce lingered, noting interest in co-investing. Then, he revealed a new director of healthcare investments role. My heart raced. Was I a candidate? Later, the cleaning crew arrived, and I spoke to Lucia in Spanish, handing her my card. The next day, Pierce confirmed my promotion, admitting his misjudgment. Passing the conference room, I saw Carmen, Lucia's daughter, now an analyst I'd hired. That night, toasting with Sophia, I reflected on assumptions shattered, barriers broken, and a life transformed, not by words, but by proving my worth beyond the uniform.